I'm Thad West, CEO at ISOS Technology. I hope you're enjoying your time at Team 23. Please check out ISOS Technology speaking sessions featuring our customers Crocs and GoDaddy. Visit our booth for a chance to win our giveaway, a vacation.
There is no silver bullet when it comes to transformation, and doing it at large scale magnifies any challenges you might face along the journey. Today, I want to share our engineering transformation with you all. That is at large scale, 25,000 Jira users. My name is Helen Lau, and I'm one of the chief engineer in Commonwealth Bank of Australia. In Australia, we love acronyms, so I'm going to use CBA as a reference to my company throughout this presentation. I want to begin with our engineering transformation journey with you. First of all, transformation journey was never easy and straightforward. And sometimes we need to pivot and adjust to overcome some of the challenges and issues we face along the way. CBA actually started the Jira and Confluence journey back in 2013 at a small scale at local team. It is not until 2017 CBA selected Jira as the agile delivery tool together with Confluence. We started with 1,700 users in 2017. And in 2018, we implement Jira Data Center, and we saw a phenomenal growth from 1,700 users to 9,000 users because we bring stability and availability to the tool in-house. And in 2019, we have the enterprise Jira version being stood up. 2019 was the year of consolidation. We actually discovered there's many small area and teams actually have their own instance in Jira and Confluence. And 2019 was the year of consolidation where we migrate most of them onto the enterprise instance. And we saw a user be merged into and the growth to 11,000 users. In 2020, we faced a lot of different ways of working that happened because of, over time, different teams using Jira and Confluence differently. And we designed a standardized delivery framework in Jira. And that's what we actually begin in transform and the way we work and the way how the company and delivery things. And 2021 is where we embedded the standardized framework to all our delivery projects. And we saw some 16,000 users on Jira platform. And by the end of 2021, we start to observe some of the performance issues with the on-prem instance of Jira. And that's when we start to ask ourselves, should we continue our on-prem journey or should we look at another alternative, which is Atlassian Cloud? And we decided the later. In 2022, we have successfully migrated 25,000 Jira users from on-prem to Atlassian Cloud. That was a phenomenal effort with everyone in the project. And now we are focusing on unlock all the cloud native features to all our users on the Atlassian Cloud. However, we're a bank. We always want to make sure we do everything safe and secure. So with the marketplace, we still have to review third-party plugins one by one to ensure everything is safe and sound and within our platform and control, meeting our regulatory requirements. And that's where we are now on cloud. Next, I wanted to share with you, why do we need to transform? Before cloud computing was a thing, CBA developed many in-house tools and bespoke software to help us move faster. As the digital world evolved and many of the software and tooling are meeting our requirements, we want to change our focus into focusing building products and services for our customers instead of maintaining the tool ourselves in-house. And that's what we summarize as obsess over customers. We also want to build a world-class engineering experience for every single technologist in the company. So we cannot stick with the on-prem sort of principle, and we start looking at modernization and moving into the cloud. Last not the least is NPS plus 30. When we increase velocity, increase what we do and doing a better job, that would directly translate to our customers, meeting our customers' demand rapidly. And it also means a NPS uplift in terms of customer satisfaction. Those are the goal of why we need to transform. What is our vision? If I summarize our vision, is actually to bring from keyboard to customer by cloud in minutes. Let me elaborate the underlying meaning of our ambitions. When we say keyboard to customer in minutes, it means we have an automated pipeline for build, deploy, and rollback in production. Also, automated approval, increase, and the release process. So we can separate the duty of development and production operations. Also, an automated test covering unit tests, system tests, SIT, performance tests, and UAT and PBT. Pen testing, security scoring related, automated code scanning, and secret scan availability. And in some cases, feature toggle in live production application. We want all the above to be automated for our engineers so they could focus on building new features for our customers. That's what we mean by keyboard to customer in minutes. So we can actually do that and focus on meeting our customer demand. Next, how do we succeed? I want to share 3 key ingredients to our success with you today. First of all, agile. There's no plan that will guarantee a successful outcome. Teams need to be agile to overcome any surprises. As I explained in our transformation journey, it wasn't a straightforward path from A to B. Looking back, there's no way we would have put a project plan together with those phases along the way. We would have, if we had a crystal ball back in 2017, we could have started our journey with Atlassian Cloud. However, the context here is regulatory and compliance requirements have ruled out cloud as an option for CBA back in 2017. So we implement the best fit solution along the way and continue to transform and adapt to the environment over time. That's what I mean by being agile. Second is dry run. Perform dry run as early as possible. We'll flesh out many technical and operational challenges that the team could face and could not foresee. One of the best examples I could use is the COVID lockdown. We have totally different performance stats when we run the job remotely from home compared with physically connected in the office. Let's say our first remote dry run was not a success. The good thing is we learned that early on in the project. With this lessons learned, we planned out our full cutover windows of 60 hours and we split our team into A-B shifts for a full coverage on site in our CBA office. And that is a success that we can share. Collaboration. Personally, I think collaboration and building a one team culture is the most important ingredients to our success. This won't be a successful story without the support of engineers, architects, business analysts, product owners, project managers, and senior leadership sponsorship from both Atlassian and CBA. I would say that collaboration is the final and most important ingredients to our success. Next, I want to share some of our performance test stats with you. This is performance test result with 5,000 concurrent users hitting both instances on-prem and on cloud at the same time. As you can see, our on-prem data center response time is sitting at around 30-second range. Compared with Atlassian Cloud, is sitting between the 1 to 2 second range. In order to uplift the data center performance to match Atlassian Cloud, this would mean capital investment into more CPU and memory and hardware in our data center. When we actually compare this also validates our strategic direction of moving to the cloud rather than stay on-prem, because we want to focus our effort on delivering features for our customer and not the infrastructure and underlying operations, keeping our tools running. Benefits. I want to share a few of our benefits with you. Resilience and availability. Since we migrated to Atlassian Cloud, we have no P1, P2, or P3 incidents, and that's since November 2022. And we haven't had any planned or unplanned outage as well since the migration. Also, second benefit is unleash the cloud platform capability. We've now been able to support mobile and tablets and the mobile apps that they can approve things quickly, adding a snippet and things like that. Unlimited instance and sites on the Atlassian Cloud. That brings us a lot of flexibility in terms of autonomy, data segregation, environment customization to a multi-organization like CBA, because we own a lot of subsidiary and smaller brand and businesses. With this, we don't need to worry about infra and underlying hardware disk space to support other subsidiaries within the bank. Increased end user satisfaction. I would say the performance improvement directly translates to happy end user. Since the migration, I have not heard any noise from our end users complain about performance. That is the number one sort of scorecard for me and my team. Cost and efficiency. That's with the support ticket training down, actually internal team, I can free up a lot of resource to work on more interesting projects. That's something that we cannot underestimate in terms of opportunity costs. And in terms of eliminating, the need of raising capital for new hardware, that makes us, in terms of financial position, a lot better than comparing with on-prem. Next, I want to share our challenges and lessons learned with you. There's no success guarantee without any lessons learned. So first, I want to start with technical aspects. Keeping our customers' data safe and secure is always the top priority for the bank. And we need to make sure our data are encrypted and transferred by the secure link throughout the entire project. This creates a lot of performance challenge for us because we want a migration window as short as possible, but we want to decrypt things on the fly at real time as well, meeting these additional security requirements. Also, the second challenge is the bank have many subsidiary and business. One of the requirements we have is the ability to integrate with multi-cloud instance and authenticate with multiple identity providers. That was one of the Atlassian roadmap item that was not delivered at the time of when we embarked the migration journey. With the support of Atlassian partnership and collaboration, Atlassian have prioritized that multi-IDP support for CBA. And as part of that, it was a successful migration and pointing to multiple identity provider for us. So our cutover window and syncing of the user was able to achieve. And mind you, sync from multiple identity provider to the same cloud instance wasn't an easy task for us. That's another sort of challenge we face on the third theme. Next, environment. Actually, data center instance of Jira and clouds is actually very different. The data model, how it sets it up. So mapping our on-prem environment with the cloud instance and the migration path was quite an effort for us. One way we came up with sort of overcome that challenge is each of our developer actually have their sites that they do all the tests and migration in a small scale. And once they're ready, they bring it into the share, which is the enterprise site, and commence the migration together and cross-test and regression test all the stuff. That was one of the challenges we faced at the early on of the project, sorting out the environment, how we migrate, how we collaborate. Next, performance. Moving large volume of data from our on-prem data center without impacting any of the bank's business operation was another challenge we faced. We're actually one of the biggest sort of on-prem instance of Jira and migrated to the cloud. So as you can imagine, the volume of data is actually in the terabyte scale. We actually have to build some bespoke channel and a separate network to help us facilitate the migration of large volume of data to overcome the performance challenges or impact to our business operations. Last not the least, from a technical aspect, is we actually hit many boundaries along the way when we migrate to the cloud. First of all, we hit the 20,000 user limit on Atlassian Cloud. With the support of Atlassian, we actually upped that to 40,000 to cater for our migration. And it was seamless when we migrate the user across as the same 80 group. And also another challenge is all the plugins, not all of them can be migrated, the data. We have to come up with solutions how we can overcome these gaps. Last not the least, we actually develop a bespoke API gateway to facilitate the bi-directional communication between our on-prem data center and Atlassian Cloud. That wasn't something that we found available in the market. We actually have to build it in-house with Atlassian support and test it along the way to basically support our migration. Operational aspects, collaboration. As I mentioned, collaboration was a key ingredient to our success, but it wasn't easy. It wasn't on day one that we're saying we collaborate awesome. We actually have a team that is located across multiple time zones in Australia, UK, Poland, and US, with Atlassian engineers and in-house developers and end users. So early on in the project, we worked out a rhythm, how we can share information, logs, and hot fixes, and that took time to make it perfect. It wasn't an easy journey, but it was definitely a successful story to work out the right rhythm, how we can collaborate. Dependency. There are many cross teams internal in CBA that we actually have a lot of collaboration, operational challenges. For example, network identity and security. So the project team may focus on, doing the migration and tasks, but a lot of the time there's a lot of touch point because we're moving a big application from on-prem to the cloud. So dependency and wait time with, collaboration between teams was also a challenge we faced early on, and the dependency in terms of the timeline alignment of the delivery. Second thing is we're doing tests across multiple time zones in-house with CBA employees. We actually have employees in different time zone and different country as well. So we need to validate that we don't have a negative impact on any of our users and experience. That was actually a challenge for us early on in terms of dependency. And last not the least, in terms of operations, outage window. We actually have an extended 60-hour outage, and that was not an easy, palatable sort of communication across operations, where we tell 25,000 Jira users that they cannot use their instance for 60 hours. The way we overcome that, we actually turn our on-prem data center on read-only mode on the Thursday afternoon, and we migrate on over the night of Thursday and Friday. And so we minimize our impact to our business operation to only one business day. And over the weekend of the cutover window, we migrate all the data to the cloud. And on the Monday morning, 7 a.m., we flipped the switch and every single user is using Atlassian Cloud. So that's the minimizing the impact. So throughout that entire migration window, we actually have a solution for 25,000 users to continue to use our on-prem Jira, but we flip into read-only mode. So, and we have done many comms to overcome that in terms of operational impact. Next, lessons learned and challenges, compliance aspects. Data center hosting, it was another sort of challenge we faced from a compliance point of view. As I explained early on 2017, Atlassian Cloud was not an option for CBA, is because that was not hosted within Australia. As part of the migration project, we collaborate with Atlassian engineers. Actually, we came up with the feature of pinning all our cloud instance onto Australian data center only. And that is meeting our sort of compliance requirement from a regulatory point of view. And we also review all the plugins hosting one by one, ensure that they are either hosted in Australian data center or a cloud that we have approved. Next is cybersecurity. From a compliance point of view, we actually developed an API token and a whitelisting solution to ensure Atlassian engineers can meet our cyber requirement in terms of our users only allowed to connect to our instance through CBA devices and through CBA network. That was something that was not available prior to the migration. That was a code developed with Atlassian engineers and make that happen for us. So today, across the bank, all our end users can only access our CBA instance through CBA issued device. Also, we have challenges on plugins meeting the cybersecurity requirements. We actually put in a lot of effort to review all the plugins and the providers one by one. Last not the least is because we are a highly regulated industry at the bank, in the banking sector, we need to allow enough time to do materiality assessment and inherent risk assessment, because we're moving one of our core applications from on-prem data center, which is owned and operated by CBA, to Atlassian cloud. There's a lot of sort of regulatory and compliance checks that we need to vet and get approval, make sure all the risks and postures meeting our regulatory requirement. That was actually took a fair bit of time for us to overcome. And that's the lessons learned, allow enough time to conduct those assessments and make sure everything is done correctly. Last not the least is change management. So communication. You will never over communicate with such a big impact to 25,000 users. So we have an early communication plan and we set up champion network. We have feeding important information to all our users. We have weekly, monthly briefing sessions, ensure all our users are engaged and aware of what's coming, when it's coming, and what do they expect. And if there's any issues, who to contact. That communication is very important. And we have a dedicated team to do the communication and hand-holding exercise through all our users through our entire project. Now I want to focus on the pre-migration and post-migration support. That is quite a task for us as well. From a pre-migration point of view, we engage Atlassian engineers team for critical support, so they are on standby, and also internal CBA teams across different areas like network security, as well as other end user impact sort of application support team as well. As part of the pre-migration, we co-locate the entire team on site, as I mentioned earlier, and split them into A/B team shift to cover the entire migration window. Post-migration support, we set up a war room actually on the day of go live to have the entire team on site to take any call or support or remediation work if there's anything that we did not foresee in the cloud instance. And we have the entire team standby throughout the entire hypercare period as well. That is to ensure the whole change management and all our users' impact is bring it to the minimum. And also, if there's any issue, our mean time to restore and recovery is the shortest, and encourage that and ensure that is the best experience for our end users. What's next? Confluence migration. Migrating Confluence from on-prem data center to Atlassian cloud and unleash the full potential of the platform for 30,000 Confluence users is what's on our plate right now. And I want to share that story with you in a few months' time, or maybe the next session, that we have successfully migrated that from on-prem to cloud for Atlassian as well. Thank you.